Hi, good afternoon, folks. In this video, I want to go over NHL hitting and why I believe it's vital to winning a Stanley Cup eventually. Coming up. All right, I wanted to go over a few things about hitting in the game. Because a lot of the kids say, I even had somebody post me on my wall saying, yeah, well, times have changed. You can't take hitting out of the game and expect success, okay? And that was a Colorado fan. Because on my video, I had pointed out that Colorado's not a very physical team. And it's why I thought they would go out before the second round, to be honest. Or during the second round latest. I didn't think Colorado was going to make it to the Final Four this year, all year. All right, so there it is. There's the recipe to success. And now I will have my lemonade, my sparkling lemonade. The champagne of lemonade, folks. All right, I'm flipping the board. We're going to get started. Let's go into this. I'm going to go from top to bottom in the NHL, who led the league in hits this year, folks. We're going to look at it. And we're going to look at the playoffs too, what happened, okay? So number one in the league this year, Montreal had 1,585 hits for a 28.3 per game average in hitting. Number two was Ottawa, 1,541 hits, 27.5. And any of you in the Canadian Division fans this year, if you're wondering what was so impressive about Ottawa, that probably answers your question. Very aggressive team. The Islanders, number three, 1,455 hits, 26.0% average, or per game average. And then number four, Arizona, 1,447 hits, 25.8 per game average in hits. And everybody's saying, Arizona, guys, they were 2 games under 500 this year. Did any of you think Arizona will be that good this year? No. Come on, be honest. Nobody did. But they picked up their game. They made a playoff push, you might recall, but St. Louis won out in the end because a lot of experience on the Blues, right? Number five, Edmonton. Why I picked Edmonton to go far this year, folks. Now you know why. 1,420 hits, 25.4 per game average. Number six and number seven, Boston and Florida, respectfully, had 1,390 hits each. Exactly. So I have to put to the 100th of a percent, 24.82. Both of them. Exactly. But I have it in alphabetical order, and since I like Florida better, we're going to put Boston 7th. How do you like that move, guys? Tell me that wasn't slick. There you go. All right, number 8. We're going to go with Dallas, 1,386 hits for a 24.75 per game average. When I have it to the 100th, there's a reason why. That means somebody's close, you know what I mean? Or would have been the same thing. Then we have, because of this. Yes, because they were 4 hits behind and I would have had everybody at the same exact thing. Yeah, it's because of these two. I had to put the 100th of a percent. All right, and number 9, Tampa Bay, the defending champs, are in the top 10. No surprise there. 1,347 hits for a 24.1 per game average. Then the Penguins, 1,333 hits for 23.8 per game. Now the second row. Washington, 1,318 hits for 23.5 per game. Winnipeg, a disappointing 12th, I thought. Winnipeg's a much bigger, more physical team. I was expecting them this year to finish higher, you know, but I still had my reasons for believing in Winnipeg this year because it's a big physical team when they're really on their game. 1,298 hits for 23.18. Then you got Carolina 1 hit behind them. 1,297 hits for 23.16. Then we got Anaheim right there in the mix. 1,290 hits for 23.04. And the Rangers, 1,288 hits for 23.0. And then here come the Blues at 1,257 for a 22.5 per game. Number 17 is the Sharks. They're at 1,250 hits for 22.3 per game average. And Columbus, probably a very disappointing 18th in the eyes of Tortorella. This probably was frustrating him with this team this year. But if you notice, they kind of gave up too. You know, letting Foligno go and all that stuff. I mean, 1,225 hits for 21.9. A team that used to be called the Broad Street Bullies, Sure didn't look at this year in hitting. 1,219 hits for a 21.77 per game average. And Vegas right next to them, 1,219 hits, I said, right? Yeah, 1,218 hits for Vegas, 21.75. And to be honest, I figured Vegas would be finished at least in the top 15 this year. Vegas can sure look physical on some nights in the playoffs. We've seen that. But I really was judging Vegas's chances this year by previous playoff experience and how I watched them play physically over the years in the playoffs. I know this looks like they suck. And the truth is, against Montreal, they have. All right, now the bottom, we start with the bottom feeders very soon. Chicago's next, 1,214 hits, 21.68 per game. Then Calgary. This is where it starts to get soft. 1,174 hits for 21 per game average, 21 even. Then we got Nashville, 1,146 hits for 20.5 per game average. And the Los Angeles Kings have just 1,065 hits in this season. God, lousy. Sorry, King fans, that's terrible. 19.02 per game average. God, they were such a big team. Remember when they won their cups, right? There's a guy named Risto they might be interested in, just saying. Then you got Vancouver next at 1,063 hits, 18.98 per game average. And the Sabres next at 26th in the league. So now you know why I was very angry in my early videos. I was very angry about the Sabres' lack of physical play. 1,025 hits, 18.3 per game average. I'd be curious, and I might do it eventually, is to check with Granato in those games how the hitting went. That's something I haven't done yet. I might do that because I remember under Kruger, I'm sure they were under 16 at one point. I'm going to have to dig into that and check. I'm going to have to. Because this is terrible. This is like disgusting. Honestly, 18%. And Toronto fans, here you are, guys. 1,003 hits, 17.9. I had Toronto fans coming to my page saying they're an aggressive team. Please explain. Come on. Like, you know, Toronto, no shock they didn't go far. It's no shock, really. Getting Foligno, really? That was their muscle? Oh my God. And a first rounder, folks. They gave up a first rounder for that. Detroit, next. The young Detroit team, I should say, also. 979 hits, 17.5 per game. Minnesota next, 969 hits, 17.3. That looks like an old, washed-up team, right? But if you recall, Minnesota down the stretch they just started to get more mean, I thought. I did. And you remember their first game against Vegas. In game one, they had 71 hits. If they would have kept up that pace, and I know it's a high pace, but if they would have won that series. They let Vegas start taking over the hit department, if you look. Although Minnesota, if I'm right, guessing, they had more hits in the series. If I was to guess, I'm pretty sure they did. New Jersey, 948 hits, 16.9 per game. And dead last in the NHL, folks, the Colorado Avalanche at 926 at 16.5. And this is why I was saying I didn't think Colorado had it to win a cup. And and if McKinnon doesn't know this is happening, well, you know, like I seen him in his interview, and they asked him, what do you think lacks in the team, basically, right? And I didn't hear, we got to get more physical. I didn't hear that come out of his mouth. But I will say, for the record, that Colorado, down the stretch of that series, they were fighting like hell in the trenches the best they could, but they're not experienced with it. Not like Vegas is. No, it was too late by then. So this is number 1, right down to 31. So let's take a look at something here, okay? And let's be realistic. Let's be honest. Let's look at who missed the playoffs, and who was left and who won and so on. But the thing is, I don't want to take the magnets off. The heck with it. Leave it up there. Let's take a look at it this way. Yeah, I'll leave it up there. The visual will be better for you guys if I leave it up there. All right, so let's look at Colorado, St. Louis, okay? There's Colorado, there's St. Louis, and we know Colorado swept them 4 straight because St. Louis's captain predicted they're going to beat Colorado. I mean, O'Reilly, you don't go and light a fire under the ass of a team this talented. You just shut up and you go out there and you try to catch them off guard. So my first theory is out the window. Colorado proved me wrong in that series about my hitting theory, okay? Vegas and Minnie. Vegas took them out, even though Minnie had something like a 12-2 record against them. Something like that. It was a big record that they had against Vegas, but I knew Vegas is more physical, and I just figured Vegas would take them out. But Minnesota surprised me not how good they played, how physical they played. That Minnesota team looked good for a while, man, and I felt bad when they lost. I really did. All right, so the theory proves right in that series. Let's go to Carolina and Nashville. There's Carolina. There's Nashville. Carolina won. The team with the more hits won again. Florida and Tampa Bay. Look at this, guys. But the champs came through and beat these guys, but you can see how tight they are. But still, no, I got to admit where I'm wrong. Florida beats them. Even though I would say they got the home ice, probably because they were a little more physical during the season, but not much, not much. Nothing that a good game couldn't have fixed here. Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Here's the Islanders, and we know the Penguins are down here. The Islanders take it. Washington and Boston. There's Boston. There's Washington, and Boston beat them. Theory proven right again. All right. Toronto, Montreal, the one everybody that was shocked in the world. I figured if they could get it just to a Game 6, Montreal, they could have a chance, But if you look at those games, folks, especially the first game, Montreal just pummeled Toronto all over the ice. Made them look like children, I swear. And the game once, and that's why when Toronto kind of came back and gripped the series, 3 straight, the way Toronto collapsed. That's one of the strange things, but Toronto did not have it in the trenches. Montreal beats Toronto. We get another check mark here. And Edmonton and Winnipeg, I called that one wrong. Winnipeg swept Edmonton 4 straight. And I will say honestly, folks, because of their physical play. I will say that. But it didn't prove right in this one. So, in the first round, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me mark it with this so it's more clear. First round, the team that have more hits during the year were 5-3 in the first round. Let's go in the second round. Colorado and Winnipeg. Colorado and Vegas. Sorry, Colorado and Vegas. Vegas took them out. Hey man, my pen's dying here. Good thing I always have a spare. All right, Carolina and Tampa Bay. There's Tampa, there's Carolina. Tampa took them out. We're 2-0 so far. Boston and the Islanders. The Islanders took them out. The Islanders were a better hitting team during the year. And Winnipeg gets upset by Montreal, Montreal were #1 in the league in hits. Montreal swept them 4 straight, mostly because of their physical play. Second round, 4-0. So far, the teams during the season, with going into the game tonight, so far, 75%, the teams that have had the better hitting have won the series. And for the record, the Tampa, one of the teams that did one of those was Tampa, and Edmonton and so it's 2 of the top 12 are 2 of these 3. You know what I mean? They were in the top 12. So still, I'm just saying, you need to hit. You want to have success and win the Stanley Cup. Look right now, Montreal's up 3-2. against Vegas. Go look at who had the most hits last game in Game 5, folks. Tampa and New York are tied 3-3. I'm just saying. You know, but these are all teams, though, now that play physical. Yes, I will include Vegas in that, but Vegas look like they're about to be taken out, and then we'll have 3 teams of the top 9 hitting teams in the league left fighting for the Stanley Cup, guys. I'm just saying. 3 of the top 9. And 2 of them here weren't even in the playoffs. Just saying, right? Numbers don't lie. They're 9-3, the teams that have the better hitting seasons. And people say, well, the regular season has nothing to do with the playoffs. That's true. That's very true. But don't think Montreal was sitting on their ass all year just coasting. I've seen a Habs fan saying, well, we coasted all year. Well, obviously he doesn't even know they did this. You know what I mean? No. You don't get caught up with winning and losing during the season. You try to get into the playoffs. You try to get in healthy and on a roll. And with a culture in your dressing room that you're physical. And if anybody's going to beat you, they're going to pay for it. And if you can do that, you have a shot at the Stanley Cup. The 1999 Sabres are proof of that. All right, folks, that's it for this one. I did have another one I was supposed to do. That might be it today. I'm telling you, my hernias are killing me, so we'll see. I'll see how I feel after. I'm just going to go rest for a few hours, and if I'm okay, I'm going to probably do another video too. But right now, I am like death on 2 legs, as Queen would say. All right, folks, that's it for this one. I'll see you soon.